Welcome to the Savvy Radio Show with your host, Savvy Landlord. Up next is the best deal ever on Fridays. Check out all episodes on SavvyRadioShow.com.
Oh, it's Friday. Best deal ever. You just entered into the Savvy Radio Show. Today is Friday. Best deal, whatever deal, holla deal. And I'm Steven Van Kallenberg. I don't know if I said that already, but I've done a couple of podcasts in the row. Today, I'm in St. Louis, super stoked to speak at the annual Landlord Conference. Just stoked to be around a bunch of cool friends that are growing and going forward. So, hopefully today, this episode, Best Deal, will move you forward. All right, so this one, I just connected with a realtor. I wanted to do some sort of business with this realtor. Mainly, this realtor works exclusively with a few real estate investors, mainly apartments. And I've connected with this realtor for a while, and we wanted to do a deal together. He sent me a list of stuff. I found a house, a property that looked pretty legit. It's in my zone, in my area where I usually buy. And so I emailed him, hey, make an offer. The guy makes an offer for me. I think it was listed for $40,000, and it was a 3-bedroom, 1 bath on a huge lot, and it needed a lot of work. But I never even saw the property. I just got the listing, and I emailed him. I said, hey, offer 35. Boom. We got accepted offer real fast. Now, the funny thing is I was out of town. I had to reply back to this situation to get the deal. I knew it was a deal. The house is probably worth about $55,000, and I offered 35. I wanted to kind of be in at 39. I know I can do 70%. I had the financing lined out. I thought I did. So on the phone, I remember being at a hotel waiting for a shuttle, and I was like, man, I got to make a decision. I don't want to lose this deal. I want to build a relationship. So I said, hey, say accept the deal, but I won't be back for 3 days. So he tells the realtor, yes, accept the deal, the price for $35,000. So I'm kind of giddy, excited, just got another asset. And I went down, I got back in town, and I called the realtor for a showing, and I couldn't get the showing. The house was vacant. There was someone passed away, and it was willed the house, and they wanted to sell it fast. And the other realtor, the listing realtor, was kind of not playing with a full deck per se, and was kind of slow, and couldn't see the house for a couple of days. I finally got in the house, and I was like, oh no, this is not what I was wanting to do or purchase. And I didn't want to go back. I didn't want to burn my word. I didn't want to burn this realtor. And I was like, man, I can do 30. And they were kind of frustrated because I accepted offer, but I didn't do my inspection. And during my inspection, I found some foundation problems, found some light termite problems, and the whole house needed a lot of work, at least 10 or 15,000. And so I knew it was worth 55, maybe 65. So I finally beat him up for a while. The realtor was really cool. He worked with a lot of investors. He knew it was going down. And so I got the deal for $30,000. Boom. I was super stoked, but still I had to figure out how to get to raise the money. And at this time I was doing a private money class. And of course I have never raised any private money. So I forced myself the week of closing to call several, and I could get the money. I had the money, but it was my property taxes, and my property taxes were due. And I rob Peter to pay Paul. That's my old school mentality. It's so hard to see $30,000 in the bank or more, and it's allocated for taxes, but I could use that money and purchase a property. I think every real estate investor struggles with that. Or any business owner per se, because you want to buy assets that create income and move the ball forward as an entrepreneur. So I knew in the back of my mind that I had the cash, I could close it and then try to go refinance it later. But I was kind of in the middle of a bunch of financial hula hoops and la-da-das and boo-doo-doos and blah, 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 blah. Anyway, so I was like, man, I'm going to push myself and do private money. And sure enough, someone I met at the Mr. Landlord conference, that's where I am right now, and loaned me the money very quickly, wired the money, and boom, done. And that was half. I asked for $30,000 because I just wanted to close it. I had the rehab money. And then I called another local investor and who loans money, and no big deal. He asked how long I wanted to borrow it for. I said, 3 to 4 months. He said, no problem. I'm going to charge you $1,500. And I said, that seems high. And I'm going to put a lien on the property. I said, no problem. And boom, I funded my deal just like that. And so what I learned through that transaction, that situation, is that sky's the limit. You just have to push yourself and go do it. And the moral and the end of the story was I went through this whole rehab, and then I sold it to the worker that I had do the property. And I think I got about 42 in it, and I sold it for $70,000 on terms. How awesome is that? Man, the things you can do in real estate. The great thing is I was kind of nervous about it. I didn't want to do it. I was out of town. I was want to, usually don't like to buy property without looking at it at least, or having a well-trained inspector tell me this is a deal or not a deal. Bought it sight unseen, had to go back to it, had to negotiate the deal. It could have fell apart. The realtors could have got frustrated. This is a small deal, $30,000, very little money on the table for commissions. Deal popped through. Then I had to find a contractor. Got the financing first through private money, then all the way down. The contractor did the job, loved the house, had a big lot, and he bought it with $5,000 down. And here I am with roughly about a $25,000 spread. I got a wraparound mortgage on it. And so is it the best deal? It's a bread and butter deal, and you can do that. It may sound easy, it may sound difficult, but all those areas that you can master, you can learn. You just have to say, yes, I can go do it. Anyway, this is Friday. I don't know if it was the best deal, but it was a good deal. Learned a lot through that process. If you got a best deal, I would love to interview you and get you on the radio show. Other than that, have a wonderful weekend, and I'll hear you. You'll hear me next week.
Thanks for listening to the Savvy Radio Show. Glide online and listen to our other motivating episodes at SavvyRadioShow.com. Connect on Twitter at LandlordBook, and always be buying assets.